Hi, I'm Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation, and the topic we're going to discuss now is someone who wrote, "My husband won't let me go anywhere without him." And this topic is kind of interesting because it's really defining him, not you. This question defines him. And I can't advise you on how to change your husband because nothing works. If you want to change your husband, forget about it. Nobody is able to change anybody. It's just the way we are constructed. We have our own mind. We are gifted with free will and free choice. And we are all stubborn to one degree or another. And we listen to others, all of us. And if we like what they're saying, we'll think about it. Usually, we don't like what they're thinking, and there's a reason for that. It's not that what we're hearing is incorrect, or wrong, or absurd, or aggressive, but because we have a mind that is sort of caught in between ourselves, the soul, and our body, which is 1,000,000,000,000 cells striving for self-preservation, we tend to lean, because we're not taught, it's nobody's fault, we tend to lean towards defensiveness. And we have filters that go, this is dangerous, this is not helpful, this is not what I want to hear. And so it's very hard for us to even hear something about ourselves. Usually we don't like it. And so in this case, I'm sure you've already told your husband, "You won't let me go anywhere without you. Why not?" And he comes up with all these excuses, or he says, "That's not true. What about the time I let you go out into the backyard?" And it gets like that. It gets absurd, really, doesn't it? So guaranteed you cannot change him. Guaranteed. By the way, I hope you're a subscriber to the channel because you'll learn a lot about marriage, not just this. So then the question is, well, what do I do? What do I do about this? So let's first put this into a larger context. Let's say it, that this is definitely a flaw of your husband's, that he won't let you go anywhere without him. And we could come up with a book filled with reasons/excuses, but it doesn't make any difference. It's there. So that's the reality that we're going to deal with now. It's a flaw. I'll acknowledge that. Shouldn't be there. But now let's be realistic. It is a flaw among a number of flaws, but it doesn't define him. He has so many wonderful, endearing qualities. Most importantly, you love him. He is your soulmate. But where his mind is behaving in this way, where it's rejecting any compromise or consideration, your mind is now also flawed and taking it personally, and it's understandable, but it doesn't mean that it's any less of a flaw. So your mind is taking it personally, and your drive to survive is coming to the front and going, wait a minute, I have a right to be on my own. And so we can't fix his. I'm trying to take you through this step by step because you have a choice to make. His flaw's not going to go away. Anyone who tells you they can work on him is lying to you if they know what they're talking about. And I think I explained adequately why. So now you have a choice. Live with it with resentment, or live with it with not too much resentment, or rise above it. Don't be affected by it at all. Don't live See, when I say live with it, I'm not talking about living with his flaw. I'm talking about living with your mind reacting to the flaw. Because interestingly, and if you really think about it, you'll realize that anything we don't like registers as a flaw within ourselves. Or maybe not a flaw, but it's always based in our own mind, our own mind. And you take a look at examples throughout history. Look at Gandhi, what he put up with, what he lived with. He's an extreme example, but there's examples. I love war stories, and what Eisenhower had to, showing my age, I was not around during World War II though, but what he had to live with Patton, who was a great general, what Patton had to live with Eisenhower and Bradley, and on, in every level. Every person in this world has to live with the flaws of someone else, but the best is to rise above it, not be impacted personally, and just say, okay, it's just the way they are. It's much easier to do this when it's your boss who has a flaw like that, because your need for self-preservation kicks in and is going, well, you can't be critical of your boss. So we don't want to do that with your husband. You don't depend on him as your boss. So what we do is we change the context a little, and we remember he's my soulmate. I married him because I love him. I don't like his flaws, any of them. He probably doesn't like my flaws, any of them. But let's live on the plane of love. Let's not live on this plane of mundane interactions. Let's not take them seriously. Let's live on the plane of love. And that is the panacea. Love is the ultimate panacea. Marriage is the ultimate spiritual path for us normal people, so that we could learn to love unconditionally, learn to love in this space where we get nothing but joy. But if we allow our mind to be peeved, to be upset, to resist, it takes all the fun out of it. On the other hand, you could say, dude, you're a bozo, I'm out of here. Because there is no in between. There is no, because he's not going to change. You can't manipulate him into changing. You don't want to lie to him about what you're doing. You don't want to just be a doormat. But being a doormat is a consciousness. But you could be respectful of it. You could go, okay, you don't like it, so that's all right. You have so many other qualities. I don't have to go somewhere by myself. I don't have to. And if it's really an emergency, I'll just say, honey, I gotta go. Bye. So that's really it. And it's probably not what you wanted to hear. We always want to have our own desires satisfied, don't we? But sometimes they just can't be. And that's a sign of spiritual maturity, is to accept that which is for what it is and still feel the joy of who we are, of what we are. You see? Really, it's beautiful. The trick for you is to learn more about marriage. Watch these videos. Subscribe and make sure you watch these videos. Get a sense of what marriage is really supposed to be. Read my articles. They're free too. Get one of my books. Take a course. There's so much information on our website. There's so much for you to learn. Marriage is supposed to be amazing, but it's up to you to make it so. It doesn't just happen. So that's it. Again, I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation. I really appreciate your stopping by. And if you have been a regular follower, then maybe you've already heard we're going to start a course for TMF counselors because we want to be on the ground. And some of you may want to do it by phone, which is fine, or Skype, or I guess Zoom is the big thing now. But I'm training people now, and it'll be on the land. We will have a landing page by the first part of August in 2022. And our dream is to have just thousands and thousands of TMF counselors and unify our advertising and have the same process with the same beautiful dynamics of how we help people so well. Just read our testimonials. So that's it. God bless you. Thank you. Take care.